Hi, I'm Lorna Illingsworth, an independent financial advisor for Protection Investment Southampton. Today we're going to talk about the nil rate band and residence nil rate band. Inheritance tax is one of those topics that can feel complicated and intimidating, but understanding how the thresholds work can help you make the most of the allowances available and potentially save your loved ones a significant amount of tax. Today we're going to look at two key thresholds: the nil rate band and the residence nil rate band. These can be incredibly useful when it comes to estate planning, and with careful structuring could ensure more of your estate is passed on tax-free. Let's start with the nil rate band. This is the standard inheritance tax allowance or threshold that every individual in the UK receives. It represents the portion of your estate that can be passed on completely tax-free. At the time of filming, the nil rate band is £325,000, and it's been frozen at that level until at least April 2028. If your estate is worth less than that amount, there's no inheritance tax to pay. If it's worth more, only the portion above that threshold may be taxed, usually at 40%. It's worth noting that this threshold also includes certain gifts you make during your lifetime, as long as those gifts are made more than 7 years before you die. However, if you pass away within 7 years of making a large gift, that amount could still be counted towards your nil rate band and reduce your tax-free allowance. Now let's look at the second major allowance, the residence nil rate band. This one specifically relates to your main home, the property you live in and pass on to your direct descendants, such as your children or grandchildren. Currently, it is £175,000. That means that on top of your £325,000 nil rate band, you can potentially pass on up to £500,000 of your estate tax-free if your home goes to your direct descendants. To qualify, the property must have been your main residence and must be left to a direct descendant. That includes stepchildren, adopted or foster children, but not nieces or nephews. However, there are a few important limits. If your estate is worth more than £2 million, the residence nil rate band starts to taper off, reducing by £1 for every £2 your estate exceeds that amount. So once your estate reaches around £2.35 million, you may no longer benefit from this allowance. Also, not every trust arrangement qualifies for the residence nil rate band. For instance, a discretionary trust would not, but certain other trusts might. So always seek professional advice if your estate involves complex trust planning. You can combine the nil rate band and the residence nil rate band to significantly reduce your estate's inheritance tax liability. That means your total tax-free threshold is £500,000, and for couples it may be even more. One of the biggest benefits of these allowances is that both the nil rate band and the residence nil rate band are transferable between married couples and civil partners. If one partner dies and doesn't use up all of their allowance, the unused portion can be transferred to the surviving partner, even many years later. The transfer is calculated as a percentage, not a fixed amount, and needs to be claimed through HMRC when the second partner passes away. With proper planning, a couple can potentially pass up to £1 million tax-free by combining both allowances. Inheritance tax planning can feel complex, but by understanding how the nil rate band and residence nil rate band work and how they can be transferred between partners could make a real difference to what your loved ones inherit. It's important to review your estate regularly, especially if your assets or family circumstances change, to make sure your plans remain tax efficient. And of course, if you'd like personal guidance, our independent financial advisors at Protection Investment Southampton are always happy to help. We'll take the time to understand your situation and create a plan that helps you make the most of the allowances available. If you're worried about paying inheritance tax, please call us on 02380 668 407 or visit our website.